Hi, my name is Tiana, and as you can see, I'm in the bathroom. This is the only place I get a little bit of quietness when studying and doing my homework. So, this video is going to be based on for Module 9 for social and cultural influences. Now, with this assignment, I read through it and I found it really fascinating how each assignment we do is based off the whole paper that we're going to be writing and putting together to show people how we do things differently from other cultures and family funeral services and visitations and wakes and such. When I was going through these questions as well, I found it how we are able to explain the things that has happened to us during a funeral and observing a funeral, being there during a funeral when someone passes away in our family and such. So the first question we have is do children go to wakes and visitations in your family? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? So for my family, we usually don't have the kids just go straight up to the casket and view the body. A lot of people in my family, when I was younger, my mom would let us go up to the casket and view the body, and then we veer off to the right or the left. But most of the time, if it's a family member, obviously we're sitting on the right side in the first few rows in the church. So basically, yes, all of our family members do attend the funeral and the wakes and visitations for the family. To us, it's typically a good thing because that gives us more of a chance to be with our loved one prior to our loved one, saying our goodbyes. There's all of our generations are there. We have over four or five generations of family members that are still living. And I find it really great that we do have this many family members living, so that way we're able to spread our family values and customs along to the next generation and the next generation and the next. So it states, has anyone been cremated in your family? How did the family make this decision? So we have never had any family members cremated in our family. I think everyone has been buried. A long time ago, my grandmother did state to me that somebody did get cremated when she was growing up, and my grandmother was born in 1954. So back then, I don't think it was allowed. However, I'm not sure, and I have to get more information. But I am sure when we were talking, and I did state to her that the field that I was going in, she got so excited that she wanted to talk to me about so many things. And she stated that a family member of ours did get cremated back then in her time. The next question is, has anyone died while being taken care of at home as opposed to in a hospital? How did my family handle this? Yes, while being taken care of at home, my uncle did pass away in Memphis, Tennessee. He was in a hospital where they pronounced him on hospice. And hospice for us, it was a really big thing back then. We didn't really have, the last 2 years that he did, he passed away 2 years ago, and it was a big thing for us because we were trying to figure out how we were going to have this person come here at this time. When this person gets off, this person's going to come here. And the crazy part about it is that my uncle didn't have any children. So my cousins, his nieces, his nephews were taking care of him until his last say so. So I think they did a really good job with breaking up the responsibilities, the task. My mom would get off at 4:30. My aunt would come at 4:45. From 4:45 till 10. My uncle would take over at 10. He'd do a shift overnight till 6 a.m. Then when my other aunt got off, my aunt would come from 6 to 3. My mom would come from 4, and it just keep going. So the gaps were there for like 30 minutes to an hour, but sometimes my mom would push it and stay over and then would wait for a family member to come. So they handled it okay, but just in the beginning, of course, we knew that it was going to be a very hard decision. When you lose someone, it's a tragedy. There is no timing on grief. And I tell all my friends and family members that there is no time on grief. If you need as much time as you want, you take as much time as you need. So 20 to 30 years from now, you're still going to feel that emotion, that stress that it gives you, and helps you to remember a loved one. It's so hard to just, let them go. When I hear a name, it's just makes my body feel a certain way, like, oh my gosh, I've lost this person. And my mind just becomes lost. It just becomes lost, like, oh, I lost this person. But I have to bring myself back to a healing stage due to the fact that that person is in a better place, for one. And for two, I know that I'm okay and safe, and that I know that they are okay and safe. So we really have to remember that our loved one is gone. However, we have to remember to be the bigger person and just know that they are all right and they will want us to be okay. The last question is, how does religion influence how a funeral is conducted in my family? Growing up, we are a Christian family. So all of our family members are from down south, from the Tennessee and Mississippi area. When my grandmother passed away, my great-grandmother, my grandmother's mom, I've never seen my grandma cry. So when I walked up to the casket, and as the pastor was speaking, and we walked in the church. So from what my family standpoint is, at a funeral, the pastor would walk the family in, everyone would stand up and watch as the family walks down the aisle, and as the family is seated, then everyone else is seated. During this time, we walked up to the casket. My grandmother and her brothers and sisters were first, then so goes the children, then the nieces and nephews, and so on, and the grandkids. When my grandmother walked up, it was very hard for her. I didn't see her until I went into the church. And when I viewed my great-grandmother in the casket, I looked to the right and see my grandmother cry. It's very hard on someone losing someone, especially when a child loses their mother. In my family, my mom would always say that she'd rather she go first than us. And, hearing that from my mother, I don't want to lose my mother. But at the end of the day, when the time comes, I know that she's going to be in good hands. I won't have anything to worry about with having to lose her, because she's guided me and taught me right from wrong. She knows her funeral to her was pre-planned, and she knows how she wants to go. She knows what she wants to do, how she wants to do things when she goes. So I feel that as if during family gatherings and having my family together like this, I love when my family gets together, especially when someone passes, because we need that time to bond and heal together. I know that when the time comes and either my grandmother or my mother goes, I will be comfortable in knowing that they are well taken care of and they are in good hands. So during this time with us doing these assignments, I feel that as if the social and cultural influences is for us to understand and observe our family during times like this. Because when the time comes and we become the people to get our families ready for this type of situation, they will be in good hands and we won't have to worry about a thing. Thank you.